Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Rabbi Abe here. So I recently put out a short video called Karmic Forgiveness. And there was such a response to it that I felt the need, there were also questions. So I felt the need to maybe go into a little deeper into that idea. So in this video, that's what we're going to do. It's not always an easy idea. So that's a disclaimer because it might be a painful thing to hear. You might disagree, and that's okay. That's fine. But whatever we can grasp from this understanding, I hope it'll be helpful. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the video. Okay, so karmic forgiveness. Probably more accurately, we should, just to call it the karmic process, or, I called the short video karmic forgiveness because generally we're under the impression that when we forgive someone, they did us wrong, which they may have done, but they did wrong for them, not for us. So that's what I need to explain. Nothing that ever happens to us is ever to us. It is for us. So I guess I need to explain that spiritually. How does it work? So, this process of life, for those who subscribe to spiritual things, and this is part of what I teach and what I coach in the Kabbalah. And it explains a great many things about this world, but more importantly, the world beyond this world that is more in control of this world. That is the spiritual world, the metaphysical world. It's a little bit like saying the shadow and the hand. Even if we want to change something in life, we try to control the shadow. The shadow's on the wall. Imagine trying to change the shadow. You can't change the shadow. You have to change the hand, right? And the hand is the metaphor for the spiritual world. That's what's influencing us. And that belongs to us, okay? From our perspective. So there's a process within our life process here that when we leave this world, it causes the next session, shall we say, or the next lifetime that is also designed to help us. And how does it do that? Well, I think most people agree, whatever teaching you subscribe to, that we're here to learn things. Okay, we're all here to learn. This is school. This is not necessarily it. Okay, some people feel that this is it, but spiritually speaking, this is not it. This is the place of learning. All right, fine. What is it that we're here to learn? Well, there are very basic things. Don't hurt people. Try to help people. Don't be too selfish. Things like that. Okay, nice things. Good things to learn. But each one of us has very individual lessons to learn. Now, the way we view this, or the way we understand this through the lens of a Kabbalistic teaching, is the two parts of us. And again, by the way, it's not unique to Kabbalah. Many teachings vibrate with the same, resonate with the same ideas. Okay? Kabbalah just happens to be, I think, the oldest written teaching that brings these concepts forward, and many teachings, explain very similar things. So there's two parts to us. We have body, we have soul, spirit. Now we know that the soul has different levels. Okay? The soul is not one thing. The soul is divided into five individual parts in this world, and there are approximately 125 levels of that soul to meet what we call one's correction or karmic correction. All right, that's fine. We're not going to get into that right now. But what we want to get into is the basic understanding of what is this karma business and how does it work, why things happen to us. That's what we want to understand, okay, without getting too deep and too crazy. So, and the way I can explain this in the easiest way that I know how is by telling you a story of something that happened with my kids. All right? So, probably about 25 years ago, two of my kids, my oldest girl and my second to youngest boy, they were running around and playing with each other. And it happened that my youngest boy, at that time, he was probably about 3 years old, let's say, and my daughter was, I guess, 7 or 8 years old. They were running around playing. And she was wearing these little heels, little girl heels. And my son didn't like shoes, and he liked just at any chance he got, just take off his shoes, okay? He liked barefoot. He was running around barefoot, and she was with the little heels, right? Running around playing. And purely by accident, she stepped on his foot with the little heels. Now, this must have been quite painful. He, dropped everything. He started to scream. It was very painful. Okay, understood. He ran to his mother for comfort, and she's, okay, it's okay. Now, my daughter, being what we could call maybe a sensitive, very sensitive soul, and she was not angry. I mean, they were just running around playing, having fun, and it was an accident. So she ran over there, and she tried to, participate in the comforting, and he was like, no, get away from me, right? He was understandably upset. She didn't know what to do with herself. And I was watching this kind of transpire. I was watching nothing I could have done in that moment, so I was just kind of watching how this unfolded. And as she tried to help, he was pushing her away. She felt so bad. She felt so guilty. Here's what she said. She said, Michael, his name is Michael, pull my hair. Pull my hair. I thought that was odd. Why is she asking him to pull her hair? And the answer, as many of us might guess, is she wanted him to inflict some pain on her so the scales could be maybe more even. And while he didn't exactly want to do that, he didn't want to participate in that little game, she almost begged him. I mean, it was crazy to see. She almost begged him to pull her hair. Now, what's the moral of this story? Children, especially young children, are more close to the source than adults. My teacher always used to say, adult is short for adulterated. Because as we get older, our ego develops, becomes more sophisticated, we become much more smart, intellectual, whatever. We're not children anymore. We certainly, don't play that game. And, but what's going on over here? So, again, as simple as I can make it, again, we have two parts. We have body, we have soul. Ego, the intellect, the left brain stuff, all comes from what we call body consciousness. The things that belong to the body are what we call negative inclination or selfish desires, survival, me, whatever it is, it's all about me. But soul consciousness doesn't have that. None of that. Soul consciousness is a pure thing. The consciousness of the soul, especially the higher levels of the soul. And when we're children, We're closer to that. And that's all about you, not about me. It's all about what I came here for, what I came to do. It's only bestowal. It's sharing. It's the total opposite of the body consciousness. And we are, to whatever degree, in life, we very often are in conflict between that body and soul energy. And so the soul knows what we came here to do and also has its parameters, knows what it is not supposed to do. It knows, again, I can't hurt anybody. I can't, take anything away from anybody. I can't steal. Now, the body is absolutely different. Now, for some people, their body energy or their body consciousness is stronger. For some, the soul is more strong. Now, that depends on many things. I won't go there right now in this video. But suffice to say that our job, it's not the nature. Nature is the body in this world. The nature of our consciousness is the body consciousness. So each one of us have different things to do with that body consciousness. And therefore we have different things to, shall we say, correct or karmically to change or transform in this world. Now, what are they based on? Again, the short version of this is past life. Past life. Always past life. Why? Because we have no reason to be here in this level, in this world, to come here, unless we have something to do. So none of us should think, listen, I'm only a helper. I'm really spiritual. Or I have nothing to do here. Why am I here? Well, we're here. All of us are here for correction. That's what it's called. Call it karmic correction. But we're all here for the same purpose. Big or small, by the way. Can be a very small thing. Can be huge. But still, if we're here and we came to the world, there's a purpose in that. And the ultimate purpose is correction. Because when we are involved actively in our corrective process, our life will be less chaotic. Because the things that happen in life are generally to push us towards our correction. That's the premise. Okay? So if we are actively and truly doing that work, again, nobody says it's easy, but if we are already on the path and we're really doing it, then there's no reason for the universe to push us and to push those buttons to awaken us to our corrective process. Okay, but be that as it may, that's a very basic principle. Now, other things come into play like astrology and so on, but astrology, is not the source of anything. The astrology merely sets the framework to give me the character traits, characteristics, again, the framework, so that I can do my spiritual work here, which is to the correction in life, the karmic correction. When I do that karmic correction, not only I benefit, but the people in my environment, my family, my friend, everyone benefits as a result of each other's spiritual work. You can't do something which is truly, and I say truly, good for yourself, and it's bad for other people. No. If it's really good for you and your soul, not your body, your soul, then it's also going to be good for your body, even though it's maybe not so comfortable in that moment. And it's also good for other people, too. It's going to be good for everyone else, too. It puts positive energy in the planet, in the environment. It's a good thing all the way around. The opposite is also true. If it's really bad for you, you might enjoy it for the moment. But if it's bad for you, it's bad for your soul, then it's also bad for everyone else. Okay? You see it, you don't see it. That's the rule. Because we're all connected. We're all connected. All of our energies are connected with each other. That's it. Now, let's talk about hell. So, again, a little bit. And I'm sure we've all heard the expression, when we leave Earth, when a person passes away, they go to meet their maker. Yeah. Who's our maker, by the way? God? Well, yes and no, because we don't exactly know what God is. Certainly, as long as we're in a body, we don't know what God is, but we do understand, and this is part of what Kabbalah teaches, the light that emanates from the Creator, which we call God, G-O-D, but again, there are different levels, there are different names, we won't go there. But, again, the way the universe operates is with the perfect order, and that is the godly force at work. And the mechanism of the universe, we can also call God, but, God is not, according to Kabbalah, it's not a person, it's not someone deciding. No. Who decides things? Well, the maker. And who's the maker of us? Well, we are. We are the maker of us. In other words, we have created our life because of our actions. Nobody else's actions. Nobody else, and this is a spiritual world, nobody else can influence our karma. Only we can do that. Nobody else can change our destiny. Only we can do that. We can do that. We need to know how. But we can influence things, and we're the only one who can. We don't influence anyone else's life. Again, well, what does that mean? Yeah, but I did this, and they did this to me, and I did this to them. Yes, but if they needed whatever you did to them to be done, if you didn't do it, someone else would do it. It'll be done another way. And if they didn't do what they did to you, someone else will fill that space. Again, we are all actors on the stage, and we are interchangeable, but the roles are the roles. And this is, again, I'm sorry to keep saying this, but there's more to it, obviously. It's not a simple process, but in essence, this is how it works. So when we leave this world, what happens? Well, the answer is lots of stuff happens. But in essence, we meet the maker. And again, who's the maker? Well, it's us. But in the sense of, what does it mean? The godly force, at least in that stage, is, it's almost like looking in the perfect mirror at who? At ourselves. At every single action. Now, if you can imagine this, okay? Because we likely don't remember every single thought and action that we ever had since the day we were born, but everything is there. All there. Every action, every thought, every deed, everything. You're beginning to get freaked out? Okay, just wait. There's more. In other words, we are able to see, and there's no time in that dimension, shall we say. There's no time in the spiritual world. Here we have time, space, motion, change, but not in the spiritual world. In other words, there's no movement. There's no space. Oh, what does that mean practically? Well, practically it means there's no place to go. Because it is you and you are it. You are now, again, it's not your body. It's your soul. It's your inner DNA, your computer, which also contains everything. So there's no lying in the spiritual world. There's no bluff. There's no facades. In other words, to say it in the simplest way possible, you are face to face with the absolute truth of you, me. We are face to face with us. And every action, again, in the purest way, every action is there. Now, good and bad. So if we affected someone in a positive way, we helped them, we shared of ourselves, even maybe at great sacrifice, we see it as an amazing action of sharing and bestowal, and we feel extremely good about it, like we climbed the highest mountain. It was difficult, but we overcame it, and we feel tremendous good, tremendous beneficence, shall we say, as a result of that. But the negative action, shall we say, we see that also very clearly. So let's say we hurt someone, okay? I don't want to get too extreme here, but we hurt someone. Words, physically. We see, again, there's no time, no space, no motion. We see not only the result of how it affected that person, but every person, the ripple effect, if you will, because every action that is caused to us affects us, and that affects others, and there's a ripple effect to every single thing that happens. We don't necessarily realize it, we're not conscious or aware of it, but there is. Just because we're not aware of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So we see, the more impact we had on someone, good or bad, we also see the ripple effect. And that's why the positive actions that we see that caused a ripple effect that helped so many people. It's like paradise. That in a way is paradise. But the negative actions, again, especially when we really hurt people, we see the impact that it had and the ripple effect of how it hurt maybe many, many people down the line. Now, our soul, the pure part of us, is very difficult to bear the fact that I did that. Very difficult. It's hard, shall we say. The pleasure is to the soul of the positive actions that we did. But the pain, the inner pain to the soul, to the spirit, is very difficult to bear. And remember, we're face to face, not with someone else, we're face to face with ourselves. Only the truth of ourselves is potentially the most painful thing that we can ever imagine, and probably beyond whatever we can imagine. You see, in life we have the luxury to say, oh, I don't know, I forgot, we justify, I guess I did hurt them, I guess I did wrong, or whatever, they probably deserved it, or, we figure it out, and then we forget about it. We tend to forget all the negative actions, and we tend to remember all the good things that we did for other people, and, what about me? And, okay, that's this world. That's not the spiritual world. There's no such thing as I forgot in the spiritual world. I didn't know in the spiritual world. There's no such thing. There's no time, space, or motion. Consciousness is completely revealed. It's not concealed in a subconscious state. There is none of that. It's all revealed. Am I getting through? So, imagine for a moment. Let's take an extreme. I don't want to take an extreme because I'm going to get too many comments that, how could you say such a thing? But let's say I really did hurt someone, okay? I really hurt someone. And in the spiritual world, there's nothing I can do about it. There's no change in the spiritual world. So I can't do spiritual work. This is the place for spiritual work. This is the place to improve. This is the place to learn. This is the place to change. Not there. There, nothing. It is what you is. Whatever you created here is what you take there. You can't take anything physical with you. We do take everything that we accomplished spiritually, spiritual change, improvement in ourselves, behavior, and so on. That we take. Not material possessions, obviously, they don't help us there. So, that being given, if we really hurt someone, again, there's no place to run, there's no place to hide. You're left with this pain. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're given the option, in other words, how do you, because the natural inclination of the soul is to share. And I want to fix it. That's the consciousness of the soul. I did this, but I want to fix it. How do I fix it? Well, there are two ways, two basic ways. And this is sort of our decision, which is based, I say it's our decision, based on the severity of what I did, how I acted. And again, there's so many variables. We're not generalizing. We're not trying to generalize. Please remember this. I'm giving you just a very basic overview. But let's say it's our decision somehow. What would we choose? Basically two paths. Or to have what I caused someone else, to have them or have someone else, a soul, them or whoever, cause it to me in another incarnation, or for me to suffer another way to pay back, or by the extreme opposite, by being the kindest person that would never hurt anybody, but that in itself also has a karmic correction, because then you won't understand tough love. Then you'll be the nice person who always finishes last, who's taken advantage of, and you won't understand why. So it's also possible, and again, don't now judge other people who are nice people. Please don't go there, because again, as I say, there's so many variables. But there are different options in the tikkun, or in the corrective karmic process. But what's the overall object of the game? Number one, I need to balance. I need to get into balance in the next incarnation. And then step two is I need to be presented with a similar opportunity to do what I did before and not do it. So the murderer, perhaps may come back in order to murder again if he's in that stage of his process, but he'll have a space to think, should I, shouldn't I? Last time, he just did it. Now this time, he needs to think about it. He may still do it, but he has to undergo another painful process to come back. Maybe he needs to be murdered. Maybe, again, maybe he needs to come back as that individual who couldn't even hurt a fly if his life depended on it. And we're not supposed to be that way either. There's balance in the universe, and we're supposed to achieve a balance. In any case, the soul's energy must equalize. That's the law. Of course, souls don't run around without bodies in this world. I mean, at least in general, okay? So the soul comes enclosed with a body, and the body creates the challenge for us. Yeah, I want to share, I want to help. No, I want, me, my ego, my desires. This is what I want, okay? This is not comfortable for me. I want to do this. I should do that. I want to do this. So there's a dynamic, okay? When I gave you the story of my daughter and my son, again, because they were younger, they haven't become adulterated yet. They were not as polluted as we generally become when we become adults. Not everybody, but 99% of us do become polluted and more disconnected from that pure sense of, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to share. I want to have fun or whatever, okay? And therefore, my daughter said, pull my hair, pull my hair. Why did she say that? Because that comes from the soul. Help me equalize. I can't be part of hurting somebody. I need to be part of helping, not hurting, sharing, not taking away. That's the essence. And that's the essence of karmic correction. Now, when it comes to forgiveness, the way we've all been trained, and I'll tell you the bluff, and that's the video the short video that got so much, attention, relatively for me anyway, was karmic forgiveness. So what does that mean? It means understanding what real forgiveness is about. What did the sages explain? What is the real essence of forgiveness? Oh, you hurt me. Oh, now I'm the big person, because we got spiritual. Yes, forgive to forgive is divine. To err is human. To forgive is divine. Now I forgave. I let it go. First of all, you can never really let anything go. Number one, okay? Because you still have it. When the right trigger comes along, it'll probably wake up again. All right, that's beside the point. But we can't help, unless we're really spiritual. But, I learned I should forgive. Okay, you know what? I forgive you for what you did to me. Now, how exactly does that fit in with everything that we just said? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Because we have soul contracts with each other. If you hurt me, I signed up for that because at some point I did whatever to you, to somebody else, and I have a contract. I signed a contract with you and I asked you, look, please, when we're in the soul level, please do X, Y, Z to me. I mean, when's the last time, if you're divorced, let's say, and your ex-wife, husband put you through misery, when's the last time you said, thank you for putting me through hell? But you know what? According to this, we probably should. And then we'll achieve some level of correction. You see, we blame people who hurt us. We put responsibility on them for doing this to me. Wrong. Now I'm going to forgive you. It's a bluff. It's nonsense. I mean, again, it depends where you are. Sure, it's a level. It's a stage. Yes, forgive, let go. All right, that's good. But it's not the ultimate. What's the ultimate? The ultimate is understanding, oh, wait a second. Whatever you did to me in that particular moment, I came here for that. This is what I'm here for, to experience, because I need to achieve equality. I caused pain. This is the hard part, okay? I understand, and maybe if you were abused and this and that, you're going to say, oh, what do you mean, Abe? You mean, I did that? I can't imagine. I know this is going to cause all kinds of problems and issues. But nothing is ever black and white. But if it came to me, there is no effect without a prior cause. If you believe that there is order in the universe, then that is the rule, and that rule doesn't change. That's rule number one. And when you think differently, go back to rule number one. Now, you can disagree, and that's fine, but then you subscribe to the idea that there is no order in the universe, and it's a random universe. This happened. It can't be sometimes. You can't say, well, sometimes there's order, and sometimes it's chaotic. No, not when it's convenient for me to think so. No, that's not spiritual. It's not, that doesn't even make sense. Or there are rules to this universe, or it's chaotic. And that's okay too. Then just take responsibility for everything that you do, and that's that. You're responsible, whatever, okay? But we understand, even through science these days, the modern scientists, there is an absolute order in the universe. Someone told me something once, and I said it's a beautiful understanding. If you look at it out in a telescope, even with the greatest telescope, you will see a perfect order. There's order in the planets. If anything is off, even just a slight degree, there's chaos. There's the overflow, the oceans would, again, will be absolute and utter chaos. Take a microscope. Look inside how things operate. Everything in a perfect harmony, chemistry, until something begins to mutate, but there's even order in that chaos, in the mutation. There's an order. It operates with an order. Everything operates with an order. Look through the telescope, look in the microscope. Everything is ordered. What looks chaotic? It's an absolute mess. This world, our lives, no sense, no rhyme, no reason, no rules. It's random. No, it's not. There is an absolute order. The fact that I don't see the order of cause and effect means there's no order? What kind of an ego is that? No. There's a perfect order also in our lives. We just need to understand how it operates. Then we begin to see the perfect order. And so too with the things that happen to us. So when someone did whatever it is that they did, theoretically we should thank them. We have to understand, wait a second. It's not you who did me wrong. Yes, you did. And let's call it the 1%. In the 1% of life, yes, you did me wrong. But you know whose problem that is? That's your issue. That has nothing to do with me. You were an actor, a hired actor in my life. In fact, I hired you. Yes, I hired you. My soul hired you. I don't remember that. Yeah, what are you trying to tell me? I asked you to do this? Well, yes, in a sense of speaking, we did. We asked people to cause us certain challenges, opportunities, or God forbid, even worse, to help us achieve whatever it is that we're here for. And since most of us don't know why we're here or what we came to do, that's probably the best thing to begin to work on, is understanding why we're here, what we come here to do, what's my job in life. You see, you begin to learn Kabbalah, you begin to ask all kinds of crazy questions. But you know what? There are answers. So, in closing, the message here is, what is real forgiveness? Well, real forgiveness, karmic forgiveness, is not holding him, her, this, that, thing, environment. Never holding them liable for whatever happened. Why? Because ultimately it has nothing to do with them. Only on the superficial level. But in the 99% of things, in the spiritual world, I asked you to do it. How can I be upset or angry with what it was my idea. My idea. At another level, I may have done the same exact thing. How can I be angry with you when I did the same? It doesn't work. And we hold people hostage. We hold people liable for the things that we think they've done to us. And it's a mistake. You know why? It's certainly a mistake for us because it ties us up. It creates knots in our energy, in our karma. Number one, we don't move forward. Number two, we're stuck completely in wherever we are, in our anger, in our blame, with our parent, with others, with ex, with friend, whoever. Makes no difference. With the environment. Hey, what are you talking about? We are all here for the same purpose. And one of the greatest things we can do is this lesson is learn that nobody else is responsible for me except me. The only one who can change me or affect me is me. The only one who can potentially change my destiny is me, nobody else. Everyone else is an actor in the movie, And to forgive them means to release them from liability. Remember, this is a no-fault world. And in a no-fault world, there's no blame. No such thing as blame. You can never be a victim, other than to yourself. Everyone is an actor, including us to others. And we are here to learn. People are here to help us balance our energy and help us move forward through the work that we do as a result of the lessons that hopefully we learn as a result. And that's what it's about. Spiritual forgiveness, take the responsibility. No one is to blame. Never. And that's what I got for you. Please direct any questions. I know some of you may have issues with this and say, okay, I get it. Please leave comments in the comment section or let me know what you think of this idea of karmic forgiveness and hell, and in general, what your opinion is. I would love to hear. Be blessed, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. All the best.